They're great, and I love them.
Outrageous.
Sex. A bunch of sex. You guys are bitches. I love you.
It's okay up here.
See if you can guess this one, man. Check this one. Get the fuck out. Excuse me, man. These guys make me crazy.
W.A.S.P was actually something that was a brainchild of both myself and Chris Holmes that didn't really come to pass until about almost 7 years after the fact. We had a band originally called Sister. Sister was the first band to do things like using a 5-pointed pentagram. Out of the Sister experience, I met a guitar player, this tall, blonde young man, 19 years old, named Chris Holmes. Oddly enough, believe it or not, I was thumbing through a copy of Hustler magazine, and there's a section in there, if you're familiar with Hustler, there's a section in the back called Beaver Hunt, which is where all these voyeuristic men send these somewhat less than professional snapshots of their wives in and what have you. And they always have one for the ladies usually, and it says for ladies only. Well, I looked at it and here's this blonde thing standing there, and it's up underneath it says rock and roll animal, and I showed it to the drummer at the time. I says, look at this goof. Look at this guy, a character or what?
Real funny. He called me up and he says, well, I hear you're a guitar player. I said, yeah, I play guitar. Because he saw the ad in the magazine.
And the first thing I said to him was, how tall are you? And he said, 6'5". I said, how long is your hair? He goes, about halfway to my rear end. I said, you got any zits? He goes, no. I said, come on down. Sister broke up in 1978. We went back to the drawing board, and about 4 years went by from the time of Sister to W.A.S.P. And W.A.S.P. then incorporated this idea of psychodrama, which I've since been told is psychotic people doing drama. At the time we first started playing with Tony, Randy, Chris, and myself, we started playing at a club in Hollywood called the Troubadour.
Somebody was asking me the other day how I got the idea for the song Animal. I said I hooked up a videotape in my bedroom, rolled it back, made it rhyme.
Within the first few gigs that we had played at the Troubadour early on, we were showing signs of making progress in leaps and bounds. The show came about largely by a series of mistakes. We had an idea for a type of theater that was being developed called psychodrama, where you try to take what's happening on the stage and put it into the audience as much as possible to get the audience involved. Now, that's where the meat came from. We used to chop up the meat and throw it into the crowd, and to us, the reasoning behind that was that, yes, it was a very crude form of theater, but it was like going to a baseball game. You had to pay attention for fear you get hit with a foul ball. In other words, what we were doing is we had no money, but the object was to make it look as big as it could. The object was to make W.A.S.P. look like it had $1 million, whether it did or whether it didn't. By March of 1984, we had landed the deal with Capitol, and we had commenced recording the first album. In that first album was what was later to be regarded as maybe the most controversial song we've ever done, a song called Animal, I Fuck Like a Beast. Animal was a song that, because of its highly controversial lyrical content, was a song that people said would never get a lot of attention. We got a gold disc for it. The first album was called W.A.S.P, and it was a collection of songs that had happened within the first year of us playing together. Tony Richards played drums on that first album, but Tony was not to go on any further with us after that. In walked Steve Riley, who at the time was a godsend for us. He was exactly what we were looking for at the time. Animal was probably the first song, Animal being I Fuck Like a Beast, was probably the first song that really caught on for the band. But I Want to Be Somebody was the first real anthem, something that could be exposed overall, exposed so to speak. It came from an idea of, if you remember the old Barney Miller show, there was a guy on there named Ron Glass who played the part of a guy named Detective Ron Harris. And over the course of the run of the show ran for 11 years. Over the course of this show, after about the 4th or 5th season, Harris started writing a book called Bob, or Blood on the Badge. And he had labored and labored over this book, and he finally got it published, and he's just going to his first autograph signing party, and he's already asked Barney, who's Hal Linden, he asked him, he goes, can I get off early at, say, noontime to go and do an autograph signing for my book? And he says, sure. So Harris is talking on the phone, he's talking to his publisher, and he's just about getting ready to leave. And a mugging detail comes in over the phone, and Barney says, Dietrich, you and Harris, go check it out. And Harris goes, but Barney, I have to go to my autograph signing. He says, Harris, I said, now. And he slams down the phone, he says, God, I want to be somebody. And I watched that, and I laughed my ass off when I watched it, but then I thought about the genius of it. I thought, you know, there's got to be a lot of people that feel like that out there.
I wanna be somebody too. You say you don't wanna stop or take the table crumbs and all, but you don't wanna beg or plead at all.
Hey, Love Machine, those chicks, wow. I had this chick next to me, right? Like we were filming, and this poor bride, she was religious. I was saying stuff to her, and like she was cringing. Her eyes were red and stuff. And she was getting paid $300 a day, and she had to sit there and listen to my bullshit all day long for 3 days, and she was pissed off. I put it this way: I made $300 she got a day. I made it worth it. I made her work for her damn money. And she was okay looking. I hope she sees this.
Good night.